Good morning. Hello. Welcome to my week 5 red match. And if anyone gives a crap on why my week 4 match isn't up, my opponent hasn't really gotten back to me. So I think it'll end up getting forfeited to me. I'm not quite sure. But as of now, I am 1-2. Yeah. And I am playing the... I'm gonna butcher the name unless I look it up. The DC Castforms, coached by Lord Aronskii, who recently replaced one of the players that dropped. So unfortunately, she has a 0-4. What do you call it? Differential or score points thing? Yeah. So. Not too good, but I'm not doing too good either, because yeah. But looking at her team now, it is completely not what I thought she was gonna bring. She had a Ditto, which I was immediately scared off by, because I was like, I can't bring setup sweepers. If I bring Z, Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Gyarados, Ditto's just gonna copy me and scarf itself and kill me. I can't Tail Glow with Manaphy. It could come in and revenge kill me with Energy Ball. I can't, stuff like that. So it's just like, I need sweepers though, because like, look at her team. It's got Crozma, it's got the Registeel. Can't pronounce my name today, but fortunately she doesn't bring the I'm losing my mind here, Ditto. So that was a relief. Unfortunately, I didn't know how I was gonna win, because my only setup sweeper is Manaphy with Tail Glow. And yeah, here's another thing. Good old Aronskii with the misprep. I prepped for the right team, but it's just like nothing they brought was actually what I prepped for. But my Manaphy was Tail Glow, Scald, Energy Ball, and like HP Electric, because she had a Mantine, and my best thing to hit that was the HP Electric. So that worked out well for me too. And pretty much built the same old team. I got my Screens Uxie, which I've brought every week so far. Tail Glow 3-attack Manaphy, Assault Vest, Eviolite, Magneton, Spinner with Close Combat, Mach Punch, Toxic, Hitmontop, and I'm not going to spoil the Lando set, because that was pretty impressive. But my Gyarados set, it was Max Spadef with a Walk-On Berry. What's the Walk-On Berry? It's the one where if you get hit by an electric move, it halves it. And I brought that because she had a Heliolisk. She didn't bring it. It was a pretty heat set. It was a Sub-Taunt Toxic Earthquake, so I can like stay in if she decides to like Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. Well, Volt Switching would have been horrendous, because then I would have been really screwed over, but hopefully that she would just Thunderbolt or something. But yeah, so I had fun with this match at the very least, so I'll just get straight into it. Leads off with the Registeel. I'll lead off with my wacky Gyarados. Go straight for the taunt, because I don't want rocks, I don't want T-Waves, none of that shenanigans. Goes for T-Wave, easy. As I think I go for sub this turn, just to, I guess, just in case tries the Seismic Toss, doesn't break my sub. Maybe it does. I didn't do calcs. I don't know. So I'll set up the sub, goes for the return, and I'm glad it is offensive and not Hyper Voice, because Hyper Voice would have really ruined my day. So return, I go for Toxic, get a Toxic on that, which is nice. I was really glad she didn't have Heal Bell on that. That was the thing right there. Make a switch out into Magneton as she doubles out into Flygon, which is a pretty good play on her part, as she just goes for U-turn, which at this point I'm like, the only reason why you would have done that is if you're Scarf or Banded, because usually you don't want to lock yourself into like Earthquake or something, or Outrage when I could resist with stuff. So U-turning, first thought, Scarfed, cool. And where are we at now? Into the Gyarados as I take the Hyper Voice because I'm max Spadef. Go for the Toxic, and I think 3 of the 6 are Toxic right now, which is pretty stupid. So I go out into my Uxie on the U-turn as she gets momentum, so it's not looking really too decent for me as I get the Reflect off. I can't stop the Stealth Rocks here as... Oh, thank you, Colin. Go for a Toxic on my switch into Landorus Eye as I make the sweatiest try-hard play at this point. I could have went for Earth Power. I don't know how much it would have done. I'm not Sheer Force Life Orb, so maybe 60 at most. I know these things are usually pretty specially defensive, but she has the Flygon and the Altaria, which are her ground switch-ins. So I just pulling the trigger. I pull out my Z move after this turn. I pull off my Z move, which is the Z Sludge Wave, hitting the Altaria, which was like, holy, stunting or dying here. As that's a 1 down for me in my favor. As she goes Necrozma, which since her rocker was Registeel, I really didn't know what set this was. It could have been Calm Mind, Stored Power, which, ironically enough, it is Calm Mind, Stored Power as... Oh, no! I end up getting my Uxie in, and I thankfully get a Toxic off, so this thing can't completely stall me out. I go out into my Manaphy because my Uxie can't do anything as I sponge the Power Gem. I go for a Tail Glow because, just in case she set up again. As she just goes for Store Power, I recover up, go for the Scald, do a nice chip, which brings her in Toxic range, so it's a double down at this point. Just neato. So we're tied 4-4 as goes out in the Meloetta as I get a Reflect off and sack my Uxie there with 3 turns of screen, or 3 light screens and 6 of Reflect. So go out in my Magneton as I go for Flash Cannon on the Registeel. I'm not a Magnet Pull, I'm Analytic, so at any point she could have switched, but I was kind of in a tough situation because I didn't want like going in the Lando and then predicting her to switch out or something, so I just figure Magneton was somewhat expendable at this point, but then dealing with Meloetta might have been a problem because I don't know if she was... I have no idea what item she was running. I'm kind of forgetting at this point. Hammer Arm more. I don't know why she didn't have Earthquake. She said in the chat that she should have had it, but I don't know what Hammer Arm was for. It doesn't really hit anything else on my team. She goes out in the Meloetta. Goes for the Hyper Voice, even though she does have the Focus Blast, so she took a while with this turn, and I think it was a roll to kill me with Hyper Voice, so I'm assuming yeah, it didn't take that. Probably was Specs damage. I'm not quite sure. I think I'm just max HP as I go down, and it is another double down. So Hitmontop, Lando Eye versus a Scarf Flygon and a Weavile. And I make the Hitmontop play just to get the Intimidate off. Or get a Toxic off just so I can wear this thing down a bit because the Earthquake's not doing. And now that I know she's locked into Earthquake, I can go into Landorus, which she honestly should have locked herself into Outrage or something, because then she could have probably 2-hit KO'd my Lando and it would have been a completely different story. So I knock off the Choice Scarf, take it more Toxic, go for the HB Ice just to finish off the Flygon, and it's looking pretty peachy for me. Goes out into the Lando. I don't really need Lando anymore because Hitmontop can easily clean up. Misses the Icicle Crash to just add insult to injury, unfortunately. And I win with the Mach Punch. So that is a good game to Lord Aronskii. And I am now 2-2 or 3-2. I have no idea. So Thank you.